We're all living in this world full of AI that can write, code, and create some pretty amazing stuff. But there's this huge nagging question, right? How do we actually know if it's telling the truth? Today, we're going to dive into that, the quest for LLM accuracy.
I mean, it's the million-dollar question. These large language models can sound so incredibly fluent, so confident, even when they're just completely making things up. And look, manually checking every single response, that's not a real option. It would take forever, cost a fortune. It's just not going to happen. So how do we automate this whole quality check thing?
And that, right there, is the heart of the AI accuracy problem. See, with normal software, it's pretty simple. You run a test, and it either passes or it fails. Easy. But LLMs? They're a whole different ballgame. Their answers can be unpredictable, creative, nuanced. You can't just check a box and say, yep, it works. To really get our heads around this, the entire field of evaluating these models basically splits into two major paths, and it all comes down to asking one single fundamental question first. Do I have a perfect, gold standard answer key to measure my LLM's output against? Because your answer to that question changes your entire strategy.
So what do I mean by an answer key? Well, in the world of AI, we call this ground truth. Just think of it exactly like that. It's the ultimate answer key. It's this set of perfect, often human-written examples that you can hold up as the absolute benchmark for what good looks like. It's the target you're aiming for.
So that one big question leads us down two totally different roads. If you have that ground truth, that answer key, it's called a reference-based evaluation. The best analogy? It's like grading a math test. You have the answer key. It's black and white. But if you don't have a ground truth, that's a reference-free evaluation. And that is way more like grading an essay. You're not looking for one single right answer. You're looking at things like logic, style, and coherence.
All right, let's go down that first path for a minute, the one where we do have that perfect answer key. The earliest attempts to solve this were, pretty straightforward. Back in the early days of all this, we started by literally just counting the matching words and phrases between the AI's answer and the perfect one. This gave us metrics with names like Blue and Rouge. Here's a simple way to think about them. Blue is all about precision. It kind of punishes the AI for adding extra fluffy words that aren't in the reference answer. Rouge, on the other hand, is about recall. It checks to see if the AI included all the important keywords it was supposed to. But, and this is a huge but, while counting words was a decent starting point, it has a major flaw. Just look at these two sentences. We accept returns, and you can send items back. I mean, they mean the exact same thing, don't they? And there's the killer problem. Same meaning, but they barely share any words at all. This is exactly where those old-school word-matching metrics just completely fall on their face. They're great at checking syntax, the structure of the language, but they are terrible at understanding semantics, the actual meaning. And that's why the whole field had to evolve. So this brings us to the modern, state-of-the-art solution. It's a technique that's so powerful, it actually works for both reference-based and reference-free evaluations. And the concept is brilliant. You use one powerful AI to grade another AI. It's called LLM as a judge.
And listen, this isn't just some neat little trick. It is rapidly becoming the industry standard. This quote here really nails why. It's considered the most reliable method because you can create these incredibly detailed, nuanced, almost human-like grading rubrics just by writing them out in plain English.
The process itself is surprisingly simple. First, you just define what you care about in plain English. Things like, is it factually consistent? Or is the tone polite? Then you write a prompt for a powerful judge AI with those rules. You feed it the AI-generated text you want to grade, and here's the magic part. You don't just get a number back. You get a score and a detailed reason explaining why it got that score.
Okay, so we've got this incredibly powerful new tool in our toolkit. So how do we actually apply it? Let's take a look at how an AI judge can measure some of the most critical parts of accuracy that we all care about, like faithfulness and hallucination.
Two of the absolute biggest metrics today are faithfulness and hallucination. Let's start with faithfulness. This one is absolutely critical for systems that use something called RAG, which is when an AI pulls info from specific documents to build its answer. Faithfulness just asks, is the answer the AI gave me actually consistent with those documents it pulled from? Then there's hallucination. You've probably heard this one. It's just a simple check. Is the AI making stuff up? Is it inventing facts out of thin air? Nailing both of these is essential if we're ever going to build AI that we can really trust.
All right, so using an AI to judge another AI, It sounds pretty perfect, right? It's an elegant solution. But of course, it's not a magic silver bullet. You've got to be careful.
Turns out, these AI judges can have their own little quirks and biases. Studies have shown they can have positional bias, where they just tend to prefer the first answer they see in a list. There's also verbosity bias, where they might give a higher score to a longer, more detailed answer, even if it's not actually any better. And some might even have a self-enhancement bias, where they favor answers that are written in a style that's similar to their own. At the end of the day, the quality of your evaluation really just depends on how good your judge is.
So as we keep building better and smarter AI judges, the models they evaluate are going to get better too. It's a cycle of improvement. But this whole process leaves us with this fascinating, almost philosophical loop. If we are building AIs to grade other AIs, who or what is ultimately going to judge the judges?